In 2023, a mind-blowing thriller film was released. What happens when mysterious monsters clash with a curse that's 1,000 years old? Without saying much more, let's begin. The film starts with Lisa. She has to go to an old man's mansion to restore a centuries-old painting. On the way, she meets a team of 3 scientists. Their destination is also a small town near the border. The only difference is, the scientists need to go deep into the forest, while Lisa has to go into town to meet her client. The next day on the road, she meets a warm and friendly young man. He immediately picks up her luggage and takes her to the mansion. It is said that the owner of this mansion belongs to a centuries-old royal dynasty. If this work succeeds, it would be equal to half a year's income. While staying there, she learns that the young man is a bar owner. Shortly after, Lisa meets her client, Anna. But when she sees the painting that has to be restored, she is completely shocked. That painting, which was spread across the entire wall, was covered in a layer of black soot. Not even a glimpse of the original image was visible. Anna tells her that a few weeks ago, a fire broke out in the chimney, which burned the painting and turned it black. It was a creation of a renowned artist, and had been present in the house for centuries. That's why she wanted to save it at any cost. First, Lisa wants to refuse, but after hearing the huge payment, she agrees. She takes out her special chemical and begins cleaning the painting slowly. As soon as she rubs the painting slightly, the original pattern of the image starts to emerge. Once she is sure, she immediately gets to work, because the mistress of the house had only given her 2 weeks' time. During this time, a mysterious singing voice comes from outside. Lisa is surprised and goes toward the balcony. She sees a girl with long hair singing a song. She is just about to call out to her, when the girl turns and runs away. At dinner time, Lisa finds out that the girl who was singing is actually Anna's daughter. Her name is Xiaomi. When Lisa gets up to leave, Anna hurriedly runs toward her room. She quickly drinks a red-colored liquid from a glass. Meanwhile, the 3 scientists, whom Lisa had met on the way, are camping inside the forest. One of them, the man in the floral shirt, senses some movement. He is just about to warn his companions, when suddenly a big hand grabs his neck. Without any delay, all 3 scientists are locked inside an iron cage, and when they regained consciousness, they were trapped in a dark dungeon. Then a heavy-built man opens the door of the dungeon and comes inside. He looks sluggish and dangerous. He picks up a bucket and goes near a well. Everyone thinks he is there to draw water, but as soon as he pulls up the bucket and sees that it's empty, he gets furious. In rage, he directly charges at the scientist with long hair. He beats him up brutally, then grabs both his legs and throws him straight into the dry well. The remaining scientists watch everything in fear and silence. Then the man lowers the bucket again, and this time, a hand emerges from the dry well. That hand drips its own blood into the bucket. The floral shirt scientist screams, "What the hell is in that well?" But the heavy man gives no reply. He enters the scientist's cage directly and begins to torture him. Then once again, he throws him into the same well. A monster, whose body looks like dried-up bones, comes swaying toward him. Like a wild animal, that heavy man returns with the fresh blood of the monster. And surprisingly, this blood is immediately sent to the mistress of the mansion, Anna. As soon as Anna drinks it, the wrinkles on her face vanish within seconds. Meanwhile, Lisa has no idea that she has actually fallen into a demonic trap. As she continues restoring the old painting, a terrifying face begins to emerge from it. Right then, she starts to feel something is wrong. Suddenly, a cut appears on her finger on its own. Lisa somehow manages to stop the bleeding, but just then, All the lights in the room go out at once. Then she sees her dead father is suddenly standing right in front of her. Lisa screams in fear. Then, while she's sleeping at night, a bald man begins to strangle her. Lisa wakes up startled and sighs in relief, realizing it was all a dream. But then, her eyes fall on the painting. She gets shocked, because the same bald man is now painted on it. Was it all real? She finds the same cotton, with which she had stopped her bleeding yesterday. Xiaomi's face suddenly appears from behind. Lisa gets frightened. In an extremely cold voice, Xiaomi warns her, "Don't touch that painting any further, because it is connected to a witch's curse, and whoever becomes involved with it meets a terrible fate." Lisa gets goosebumps. She runs straight to the bar owner and asks him about the painting. That man explains that he has never heard anything scary about this mansion. He suggests that maybe Lisa is just too exhausted, but his words fail to ease Lisa's fear. Lisa goes to Xiaomi again, but finds her silently looking out of the window, crying while watching a couple outside. Xiaomi says that she too wants to live a normal life like adults. When Anna suddenly enters the room, Lisa quietly gets up and leaves. Anna tries to justify things, saying that Xiaomi is still a child. She should stay away from thoughts like love, as her mind often gets confused. Then she warns Lisa, "Don't delay the work." That night, as Lisa goes to brush her teeth before sleeping, as she was brushing her teeth, she felt a strange movement in the bathtub. Lisa screamed and ran out of the room. Hearing the door slam, Anna came rushing. But when she lifted the curtain, the bathtub was completely empty. Fed up with these constant terrifying events, Lisa finally decided she would quit the restoration work. She didn't even want the money anymore. But Anna's tone had become harsh. Now only 2 days were left before the deadline. If Lisa didn't finish the job, she would have to pay a huge penalty. And already struggling with financial hardship, Lisa was left with no choice. The next day, she resumed her work again. Determined to finish quickly and leave the mansion, she increased her pace. But just then, Xiaomi returned again and pleaded with her to stop the work. Xiaomi revealed the truth behind the painting. 500 years ago, a witch had imprisoned an immortal demon. It is said that drinking the blood of that demon keeps a person young forever. Since then, people like Anna have been sacrificing living humans to obtain that demon's blood. Every 500 years, that painting begins to decay. If it's not repaired, the power of immortality begins to fade. But to Lisa, this all sounded like nothing more than a story. She believed Xiaomi was once again lost in her delusions. This made Xiaomi angry. She had decided that she would show Lisa the truth herself. She took her to the basement of the mansion, where the muscular creature Dazwang was present. Lisa started to believe just a little, still to know the full truth, and moved forward through a secret passage inside the basement. Eventually, she reached a dark prison area, where the air was filled with the stench of blood and rotting flesh. She quietly hid in a storage room, and from a distance, saw Dazwang moving toward a girl with golden hair. Lisa recognized her immediately. She was the same explorer whom she had met earlier on the road. Just then, her thoughts were interrupted by the girl's scream. Lisa moved forward and saw that Dazwang was just about to throw the golden-haired girl into the dry well. Lisa seized the moment and attacked him from behind, into Dazwang's back. Quickly, she pulled the girl out. Both of them had just begun to escape from the dungeon, when suddenly, Dazwang staggered and stood up again. But as he turned around, he saw the terrifying monster emerging from the well. Dazwang couldn't understand a thing. The monster devoured him in a single bite. Meanwhile, Lisa was just about to exit the mansion. Right there stood the bar owner, To both of them, it felt like they had found a savior. But just then, the bar owner suddenly raised his crossbow. Lisa now understood everything. The bar owner, too, was part of the same mysterious cult. As soon as they all reached the main hall, all the people that were present in the oil painting, Lisa was forced to resume the restoration work on the painting. Anna, standing beside her, was extremely anxious, because that night marked the completion of the 500-year cycle. Lisa began to work faster than ever. As soon as she cleaned the final section, she clearly read the cursed contract written in the painting. At that very moment, Xiaomi entered the room, carrying petrol and a burning candle. She threatened everyone. If anyone dared to continue the work, she would burn the entire painting. Now everyone realized that the innocent-looking Xiaomi had been trapped in the body of that child. As soon as the clock struck midnight, Anna raised the crossbow, kill Xiaomi. But Lisa stepped in between and took the arrow herself. Now the fate of everyone was sealed. As time ran out, everyone in the mansion began to groan and scream in agony. Within moments, they all started aging rapidly before their own eyes, and then their bodies turned to dust. Meanwhile, Xiaomi, who had been a child for centuries, for the first time, felt the presence of a grown woman within herself. Even though that feeling lasted only for moments, she was at peace. Lisa was still mourning the tragedy, when suddenly, the demon entered the room. There was only one way left to survive: to finish the restoration of the oil painting. And just as the demon approached Lisa, as the demon got very close to her, Lisa loudly read aloud the cursed contract written on the painting. And then, the story suddenly jumps 30 years ahead. Now that same Lisa, whose appearance still glows the same as before, has become the new owner of the mansion. It is said that even the Prime Minister's wife comes here to receive the medicine. Without saying a word, Lisa descends into that same old dungeon, where now, the demon is strapped to an operating table. He is no longer a living beast, but a blood extraction machine. So this was the well. A terrifying, blood-soaked, and twist-filled story. Even if the story feels a little predictable at times. And yes, some scenes definitely lacked logic, but the amount of gore was absolutely top-notch, especially those dungeon scenes. What happened to the expedition team was truly spine-chilling. Advice: do not watch this movie while eating. And most importantly, the temptation of eternal youth is something no one can resist. The transformation that Lisa undergoes at the end was shocking, but not entirely impossible. Maybe now, she no longer feared death, but feared losing the painting. The same young woman, who once set out to fight the demon, had now become the demon herself. That's all for today. If your thoughts are different, be sure to share them in the comments. We'll meet again next time with another brand new story.